Hi everyone, welcome to Zenden, a safe space to calm your mind and body. Today we're going to be doing a heart opening practice for loneliness. So we're actually going to start sitting on the floor. So find your way into a seated position. And we're actually going to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your tummy. And just breathe. You might want to have closed eyes or maybe a soft gaze in front of you. And we're just going to start connecting to our breath, connecting to the inhales and the exhales, noticing where your body moves as you breathe. So in today's practice, we're going to be moving the energy around the body. So sometimes when we're feeling lonely, your body might feel trapped and a bit stuck. So we're going to just move some energy around your body, hopefully release some of that loneliness and some of that tension that you might be feeling. And as we continue on with our breathing, try to make your exhales longer than your inhales. You might even want to start counting with your breath, so maybe inhale for the count of 4 and exhale for the count of 6, or maybe inhale for the count of 6 and exhale for the count of 8. This is your practice, so do what feels good in your body, but just trying to make the exhales slightly longer than the inhales. I can actually feel my body wanting to sway in this moment, so I'm going to sway. So if you want to sway your body, you can do so too. Just gentle swaying movements, waking up your spine, waking up your hips, your core. Just gently swaying from side to side. Focusing on the breath, focusing on your body. And as we come to stillness again, so we're going to start by moving our wrists. So if you bring your hands out in front of you, you can interlace your fingers and just move your hands. I don't know what the name of this pose, I don't even know if it's a pose. Kind of like spaghetti hands, I don't know, that's what I want to say. So just move your wrists in any direction, just finding some movement there, waking up your wrists. Let's maybe move our shoulders, so bring your shoulders up, back and round. Let's do that a few times. And then let's move forwards a few times. Let's start to move our neck as well. So if we look over the right shoulder, to centre over the left, back to centre over the right, back to centre over the left, back to centre up and down, up and down. And then let's do some chest openers right from the beginning here. So what you can do is interlace your hands behind your back and start to press your hands away and push your chest open. So you get a nice chest opener here. The other option, if that isn't accessible to you, is to place your hands on your lower back and lift your chest, or maybe even bring your hands to the mat behind you and lift your chest. So either way, either one of these is absolutely fine. It's just about lifting your chest, opening your chest to the world. So finding the variation that works for you today. And back to neutral. We're actually going to move through a cat-cow. I'm going to stay at a bit of an angle so you can see what I'm doing here. So place your hands on your knees, and with the inhale we're going to raise the chest and look up. And then with the exhale, curve your spine and look down to your feet. So inhale, raise the chest, look up. Exhale, curve your spine, look down. Let's do that 2 more times. So inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Back to a neutral position, and we're going to move into some side stretches. So place your right hand on the mat next to you, and your left hand might come to your hip, your left hand might come up to the air, or your left hand might stretch over. So depending on your body today, depending on your, how you're feeling, this might look different day to day, and this might look different for different people. But what you want to do here is stretch the side of your body here, opening up the left side of your body, and back to center. Let's do the same on the opposite side. So place your left hand on the mat, your right hand can be on your right hip, it might be up in the air, or you might be reaching over to the left hand side. So here we want to open up the right side of your body. This practice is all about opening up today, opening up to new opportunities, to new friendships, opening up to life. Okay, back to center. And we're going to move into a tabletop position. So if you bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, with a nice straight spine is where we're going to start off. So shoulders are away from your ears, you're not like this. Shoulders are pressing away from your ears. Your spine is nice and straight, your toes are flat on the mat, your neck is straight. And we're just going to stay here and just notice how your body feels. You are strong, you are supported, you are grounded in today's practice. So on the inhale, we're going to drop the belly, lift the chest, and look up. And on the exhale, round the spine and look down, maybe down to your knees. So let's do that again. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, round your spine and look down. Pushing through your hands all the way up through your shoulders. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, and exhale. And back to a neutral spine. We're going to move into some twists. So keep your left hand on the mat. What I like to do is bring my left hand slightly closer to the middle of the mat, and maybe even slightly closer towards my knees. And I'm going to lift my right arm to the sky. So it might start off with being your right hand on your right hip. Your right hand might come up to the sky, and this is a chest opener. Again, opening our bodies. Let's stay here for 3, 2, 1, and back down. Let's change sides. So again, I like to bring my right hand to the center of the mat and twist my body. So your left hand might come to your left hip or might come up to the sky. I'm going to stay here for 3, 2, 1, and bring that hand back down. Let's move through some thread the needle. So we're keeping our hands underneath our shoulders again. We're going to bring the right hand up to the sky on the inhale, and then exhale, bring your right hand underneath, so through your left hand and your left knee, and then rest on your shoulder, and you can stay here, or you can bring your left hand up to the sky, or even over to your right side pocket. So this is a thread the needle, stretching your shoulder, having a slight twist of your spine, and then let's press back up. So left hand comes back to the mat, press ourselves up and back to a tabletop position. Let's do the same on the opposite side. So this time left hand reaches up to the sky on the inhale, and on the exhale left hand comes through the right hand and the right knee so that your shoulder is resting on the mat. You might want to stay here. You might want to bring your right hand to your right hip, or maybe even your right hand over to your left pocket. And we're going to stay here for a couple of moments, stretching our shoulder, gentle twist of the spine, and let's press back up. So right hand comes back down to the mat, press up and back up into a tabletop position. From here, we're going to tuck our toes under and press back into our very first downward facing dog. I encourage you to keep your knees bent and send your hips up to the sky. Then press and almost press your chest towards your feet. So this is going to look different for everybody. Some people might be in a full-on triangle. Other people might even want to bring their knees lower down to the ground, but sending your hips up to the sky. You want to be stretching your back in this pose, so stretching your back muscles, your shoulders. And you might want to start to pedal your feet out, so maybe straighten one leg, keep the other one bent, and then swap. I'm actually going to walk my hands out a little bit further. So like I said, this practice is going to look different for everybody. But just know that whilst you're practicing yoga, there are thousands of other people all around the world that are also practicing yoga at the exact same time as you. So you are not alone. We're all in this together, this thing called life. So once we've moved a little bit in downward facing dog, we're going to press forwards into a plank, lower our knees, and come down into a cobra pose. So laying down on your belly, your hands come by the sides of your chest, and gently peel open your chest. So this isn't a full-on upward facing dog, this is a gentle cobra. So let's tuck our toes and press back up into a downward facing dog again. So again, you might be straightening one leg at a time, finding some stretching, finding some stretching there. You might want to move your hands around, maybe get closer, maybe get further away. Just play with different movements and just noticing how your body feels as you're moving. So let's do that one more time. So let's press forward into a plank position. Maybe lower down to your knees, lower down to your tummy. With your hands by your chest, press up into a baby cobra. Strengthening the spine, opening your chest. And let's press back into a downward facing dog. So again, finding some movement, moving the body today. What we're going to do is bring our right foot in between our hands, keeping your left palm down on the mat. Extend your right hand, so maybe your right hand wants to meet your right knee. Maybe your right hand wants to reach up to the sky for a twisted lunge. So let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your right hand back down to the mat, lower your left knee and flatten your right foot. You might want to place your right hand on your right knee to press up into a low lunge. You might want to stay here Maybe bring your hands to your hips, or maybe your hands come above your head. Let's stay here for 5. And we're going to maybe place both hands on your right knee and press backwards, press your hips back to your left foot into a runner's lunge. So this is going to be stretching your hamstring and your right leg. Personally, my hamstrings are super tight, so this is a great pose for me. Just to stretch that particular leg muscle, so we'll stay here for 5. Press your hands forwards and back to the front of the mat. And from here we're going to send our right leg back and bring the left leg up to the centre of the mat. Tuck our right toes and press up into a lunge. Keeping your right hand on the mat, we're going to bring your left hand maybe up to your left knee, or maybe even up to the sky. And we're going to stay here for 5. Bring your left hand back down and your right knee comes down to the mat. Untuck your toes, place your left hand and maybe also your right hand onto your left knee and come up into a low lunge. So again, your hands might stay on your knee, your hands might come to your hips, or maybe even above your head. And again, we'll stay here for 5. Hands come back down to your knee and press back. Press your hips back into a runner's lunge so that we can stretch your hamstrings of your left leg. Pointing your toes up to the sky and feeling the stretch there. If you have blocks, this might be a great opportunity to use blocks if you want them. So staying here for 5. Let's come back to the front of the mat. Tuck our right toes and let's send our left foot back into a downward facing dog. So again, finding some movements, maybe straightening one leg whilst you're bending the other. Playing about with your hips as well, so maybe sending your hips up to the sky. Finding different movements and finding what feels good in your body. So we're going to do that same sequence again and then add some poses onto the end. So let's start off bringing our right foot between our hands. Left hand stays on the floor and right hand either comes up to your knee or up to the sky. Let's stay here for 5. Right hand comes back down, left knee comes down, untuck the left toes and come up into a low lunge. And we'll stay here for 5. Press your hips back into a runner's lunge, stretching the hamstrings, and we'll stay here for 5. Pressing back forwards to the top of the mat, we're going to tuck our left toes and push up into a high lunge. From here, bring your left foot down into warrior 2. So your left foot is parallel to the back of the mat and your right foot is pointing forward. I'm just going to slowly shorten my stance and bring my right knee above my right ankle. Arms come up into warrior 2. From here, we're going to do some dynamic warrior. So inhale, arms come above your head. Exhale, arms come back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's bring your right elbow to your right knee. Your left hand, can stay on your hip, or you can reach your left hand up to the sky. And let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring our hands back down to the mat and step back into a downward facing dog. Let's focus on your breath, focus on moving your body however it wants to move. And let's bring the left foot in between your hands. Keep your right hand on the floor and your left hand either comes up to your left knee or your left hand reaches up to the sky. And we'll stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand comes back down to the mat. Lower your right knee and untuck your right toes. Let's bring our hands to our knee and press up for low lunge. Your hands might want to stay on your knee, on your hips or above your head. And we'll stay here for 5. Bring your hands back down to your knee. Send your hips back to your right foot. And we're going to stretch your left hamstring. Again, staying here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring our hands to the front of the mat. Untuck the right toes and press up into a high lunge. Ooh, a little bit wobbly there. Bring the right foot back down, so the right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Your left knee is over your left ankle. So I'm just shimmying my left foot back a bit so that my left knee is over my left ankle. My right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Arms reach out to the sides, and we're going to do some dynamic warrior. So inhale, raise up, straighten your left leg. Exhale, back down to warrior 2. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Left elbow to left knee. Your right hand can stay on the side on your right hip, or your right hand can stretch up to the sky. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's bring our hands back down to the mat. Step back into our downward facing dog and stretch your legs. Again, finding any movement here that feels good for you. So from this downward facing dog, we're actually going to walk our hands back to our feet and stay in Uttanasana, forward fold. You might want to have your knees slightly bent and just let your arms sway, let your head relax. And we're going to slowly, one vertebrae at a time, come to a standing position. And make our way to the centre of the mat. And I'm out of breath. So when we feel ready, we're going to move into a tree pose. So we're going to plant the left foot, bring all of your weight into your left leg, and slowly start to raise your right foot. So maybe come onto your tippy toes to start off with. Maybe bring your right foot next to your left ankle. You might want to bring your right foot to your left calf, or your right foot to your left inner thigh. Find somewhere to focus on. And what I like to do here is to press my right foot against my left thigh and my left thigh against my right foot. So there's some tension there, pressing those together. And I also focus on peeling my right knee back. So you're doing several things in this pose whilst keeping your back straight, whilst keeping your chest lifted and open. Your hands can either be on your hips, maybe in prayer hands. Whoops, I'm going. That's fine. If you do fall over, just go back to where you were. So your hands can be prayer hands, maybe cactus arms or above your head. So do what feels good for you today. But in tree pose, we're finding stability within ourselves. We're finding strength within ourselves. We're finding power within ourselves. So even though you might be feeling lonely at the moment, You are not weak. You're strong and powerful. Okay, let's swap sides. So bring your right foot down, maybe kick out your left foot. And let's do the same on the opposite side. So start to bring all your weight into your right foot. Maybe start to lift your left foot onto the tippy toes. Maybe bring your left foot to your right ankle, your left foot to your right calf, or to your right inner thigh. Again, you want to find something to focus on so that you don't lose your balance. Press your foot against your leg in equal amounts so you find stability and strength. And also focus on peeling your left knee back. This will really begin to open the hip. And again, you have your different arm options, hands on your hips, prayer hands, cactus arms, or arms over your head. So do what feels best for you today. Again, feel grounded through your right foot. Feel strong, independent, powerful. You might be feeling lonely, but you are not alone. Remember, there are probably thousands of people practicing yoga with you at the moment, at the same time, all over the world. We're all connected. So let's bring our left foot back down to the mat and maybe shake out both legs. So we're going to move into a goddess squat. So bring your feet more than hips distance apart. Your feet are pointing outwards to the corners of your mat, as are your knees. Maybe bring your hands in prayer hands and slowly start to squat down. And find somewhere that feels comfortable. And then maybe go a little bit deeper. So you want to make sure, that your knees are over your ankles. Let's stay here for 5, 4, maybe bounce up and down. 3, 2, 1. And press back up. And now we're going to come back down to the floor. So just find any way you want to come down to the mat. And we're going to move into the seated cat-cow, which is like what we did at the beginning of the class. So bring your hands to your knees. Nice deep breath. And what we're going to do is inhale, lift your chest, lift your gaze. Exhale, round your spine and look down. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And back to center. Let's do our side stretches. So right hand on the mat, left hand can come to your left hip. Can reach up to the sky or can reach over to the right hand side. Again, opening up your side body and just notice how your body feels. Maybe it feels different to how it did at the start of this class. So just noticing how your body feels. Let's press back up and same on the opposite side. So left hand comes down, right hand to your hip, to the sky, or reaching over to the left hand side. Again, just noticing any differences there, noticing how your body feels. And push back to center. The next one I'd like to do is Canasta. So I'm going to sit slightly at an angle, I guess. So for this one, you want to bring the soles of your feet together. And again, this might depend on the day, on your body, so your feet might be out here, they might be closer together, closer to you, I mean. But you just want the soles of your feet to be touching. And you have a few options here, you have 3 different options. So option 1 is to sit with a straight spine. Maybe have your hands around your shins or around your knees. Keep your chest lifted, shoulders up and back. This is option 1. Option 2 is to bring your hands behind your back and almost prop yourself up. So again, you have a chest opener, opening up your body to the world and to new opportunities. The third option is to bring your hands to your feet and start to lean forwards. So we're not curving the spine and, curved over, keeping your chest lifted and keeping your spine nice and straight. Just start to bring yourself closer to your feet. So you might want to hold on to your feet and bring your chest towards them. Again, we're not curving, keeping a nice straight spine and opening the chest. So wherever you are, just noticing how you feel and how your body feels. And back to center. We're going to lay down. So just gently bring yourself to a laying down position. We're going to keep our feet hips distance apart and our feet are on the mat and our knees are bent. We're going to actually move into a bridge pose. So bring your hands down by your sides. Your back is flat on the floor. Your knees are bent and your feet are hips distance apart on the mat. If you have a block, you might want to use it for this pose as well. But what we're going to do is slowly start to lift up from the base of the spine and try to lift up one vertebrae at a time. Starting from the base of the spine, slowly lifting up and lifting your hips to the sky. If you have a block, this is where you can put a block underneath the base of your spine for support. Remember to keep your knees parallel to your hips and lift your tummy, lift your hips. We'll stay here for 5, 3, 1, and gently level back down the same way you came up. So starting with the top of the spine, gently lowering down. Bring your feet, heel toe your feet to the edge of the mat and bring your knees into touch in the center. And this just neutralizes the spine after doing the bridge pose. So starting to slow down our breathing and slow down our heart rate. Let's extend our legs out so we're laying flat on the floor. Let's bring your right knee into your chest. Hold onto your right knee with your left hand and cross your right knee, over the left side for a gentle supine twist. So we're going to stay here for a couple of moments. And back to center. We'll do the same on the opposite side. So extend your right leg, bring your left knee to your chest, hold onto your left knee with your right hand and cross your left knee over your right side body, over to the right hand side. And again, we'll stay here for a little moment. And back to center, extending your left leg and moving into Shavasana. So bring your feet to the corners of the mat. Bring your arms out beside you. Don't be afraid to take up space. And so today's practice, I wanted to open up the chest and hopefully open up your mindset to new opportunities, new friendships, new people. And so take what you learned in this class with you in everyday life. Remember to keep your chest open, remember to keep your heart open, and say yes to opportunities and to life. remembering that you are not alone, even though you might be feeling lonely. There are billions of people in this world, and I'm sure there are thousands of people right now in Shavasana, having just done some yoga, all of us laying together on the ground, feeling strong, feeling supported, feeling grounded, and feeling powerful. So as we gently close our eyes, we're going to stay in Shavasana for a couple of moments. If your mind tends to drift off, either bring the attention to your breath, or maybe try to think about all the different people who are laying in Shavasana. Send them some good vibes. Send them healing vibes. And just remember that we are all connected. As we start to bring our attention back into the room, maybe start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. I encourage you to roll over onto your right side of your body. Maybe support your head with your right arm. And then we'll gently push ourselves up to a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really hope you enjoyed today's class. Have a wonderful day, and remember that you are not alone.